When it comes to cases of rape in Bolivia, one indigenous leader is calling for tough justice in his district, El Alto. He wants rapists to be chemically castrated and thieves to have their hands amputated. Since 2009, the plural-nation state of Bolivia has been made up of more than 30 indigenous nations, all of which have the constitutional right to apply their own traditional justice. Dan Collyns reports from Bolivia.
Anyone planning to commit a crime in El Alto should think again. In the sprawling city which sits high above Bolivia's seat of government, La Paz, there's zero tolerance for crime.
Whether it's down to harsh ancestral traditions or simply an expression of frustration at high crime rates and insecurity, you can see effigies like this strung up from lampposts all over El Alto. And the message seems pretty clear.
The warning even extends to women. The writings on the wall. This clearly painted message says captured thieves will be burnt alive. Lynchings, or linchamientos as they're known, of suspected criminals is common. There were more than 30 lynchings in Bolivia last year. 9 victims were killed before the authorities could intervene. A lack of trust in the police and the scarcity of judicial authorities, particularly in poor areas, means popular justice often fills the gap. One indigenous Aymara leader in El Alto is putting forward extreme measures to combat crime. Carmelo Titirico wants hand amputations for thieves and chemical castration for rapists.
We as indigenous people have our own justice. We leaders and communities have put forward this corporal punishment. Today we see that the number of murders, rapes and robberies has risen by 95% because ordinary justice is just too soft. Most of the criminals spend a few years in prison, then they're released to commit crimes again.
Titirico said the punishments were permitted under the community justice law enshrined in Bolivia's 2009 constitution. But Bolivia's Vice Ministry for Indigenous, Traditional and Rural Justice said Titirico's proposal could not prosper.
In
no way does cutting off people's hands or chemical castration, as has been put forward, constitute a way of administering justice. This is outside the law. The Bolivian state has ratified various international conventions which respect fundamental and human rights.
Lynchings too were illegal and would be punished, he said. But while there's little trust in the authorities, they show no sign of stopping.
There's only one way to stop them robbing. Finish them off once and for all.
The violence and criminality has surpassed all limits. The people can't take anymore, so they take justice into their own hands.
In this mostly indigenous country, respecting the diversity of customs is important, but it's also proving to be a challenge for law and order. Dan Collyns, CCTV, El Alto, Bolivia.